Hey guys, Joe here with Barton Industries. We are going to take a look at the 2015 and 16 pull-up reverse collar. Here is what we offer. It's one piece made out of aluminum. The factory collar is a plastic piece. You've got a top portion, you've got a bottom portion, super glued together. A lot of people have been pulling these two pieces apart, whether the factory shifter, Barton shifter, and it's much needed to have a one piece. Now, a quick and easy way of doing this is once you pull off your console boot from the console, take a flathead screwdriver. You got a little lip here that walks around. If you just take your flathead, careful of not damaging your boot, just try to work it. Some are definitely a lot harder than others. You want to just work it slowly all the way around until eventually you pop this piece off. Here's your top piece. Like I said, earlier, it's super glued together, pinching the boot off. At that point, once you guys have these pieces apart, you're going to want to take a razor, some kind of knife, and you have two seams. You're going to want to start with one stitch on each side of the boot here, just so you can, spread it around the bigger diameter. Be careful you don't damage your boot. At that point, take the Barton pull-up collar, start working it down. You're gonna have to finesse it there just a little bit. Now you guys do have a grooving right there for the zip tie. So once your boot is around, you want to take the supplied zip tie and zip tie it there in place. Make sure it's all seated properly. Now, a lot of people, do not like to cut their boots. They're worried about looking bad afterwards. I will say, once everything is done and zip tied in place, that looks like it came factory. So, now that you have that pull-up adapter on, whether it be the Barton shifter or the factory unit, you have this little white piece that came off your factory shifter. You want to either slide it on the Barton or on top of your factory. You do have an O-ring in here to kind of help lock everything in place. At this point, I'm just going to grab one of these for easier sake. Take it down. You do want to, when this is all installed, lift this up to get into reverse so it raises your lockout so you're able to push it down a little easier, and then just work it down. Alright guys, for the factory shifter, you do have that little notch here in the reverse lockout. On our pull-up adapter, we have a little keyway there. You do want to match the two up. So just like the Barton, put it in reverse so you have better leverage. You take the piece, you want to mate it up there, applying force down, so then at that point it's all locked in place. Alright guys, we added an O-ring groove in here on the Barton pull-up adapter here to help break up the metal to metal, because if you tap even on your factory pull-up there, you get some noise. So we broke up and isolated that as much as possible. Make sure when you're getting ready to put this on that you pull back, and make sure that the boot here is not going to affect the O-ring and its seal. So at that point, make sure it's all locked in place. push it down, you know, do like a little lift up test there. And as you can tell, it's real quiet. All right guys, and make sure when you're threading down your shift knob that you do not over tighten it. If you thread it down too far, the shaft's going to pop the top off, either the factory shift knob or any aftermarket shift knob out there. So make sure to thread it down, get down a little ways, make sure you can still engage reverse. If you cannot, back it off a few rotations till you can.